So I'm making my soft wheat buns today, and because I'm going to make burgers, and I love it with that. Before I start, let me show you what I did before I started the video. I made what's called a sponge, and I talk about it in my other bread making videos. And it has to be this fluffy before you get to the next step. And to make it this fluffy, you just have a half a cup of warm water, not too hot and not too cold, so it just has the right temperature. So you test it with your little finger. Shouldn't burn, should be nice and lukewarm. Add 1/2 teaspoon sugar in there to feed the yeast. I think it's 2 or 3 teaspoons of dry yeast, and you let it rise. It takes about 8 minutes to get to this beautiful fluffiness, and I didn't want to make you wait. So the most important thing about making good bread is to have the sponge, what is called a sponge, nice and fluffy. Sometimes the yeast is not good for whatever reason and it won't rise. You don't need to bother with that. If it doesn't rise, just move on, get another yeast. You just want that nice fluffiness to make sure your bread is perfect. So today I'm making soft wheat buns. Those are little lighter and like a burger bun should be, nice and fluffy, but still I have soft wheat pastry flour in there because, why do I have my glasses? Because it's light, but it also has the good fibers, whole grain. So I'm going to talk about that. 1 cup warm water. Doesn't have to be a particular temperature, that's not as important as the one for the yeast. 2 cups whole wheat pastry flour. Notice what a mess I made here. And again, make sure your flour is nice and fluffy, and don't make it packed. It has to be just the right measure. A real serious baker would never do this. They would measure on a scale. But it's doable in a home, busy household like this one, and as long as you follow a few rules about measuring flour, and I have a little tip on that on the website as well. So 2 cups whole wheat pastry flour, 1 cup all-purpose flour. Again, keep it fluffy. Don't pack it, and make sure it's exactly a cup. 1/3 cup wheat gluten. So this is not for obviously gluten-sensitive people. This makes it nice and tender and just wonderful. 1/3 cup. 3/4 teaspoon salt. And now this one, I was just responding to somebody who commented on my whole wheat boon. I don't put any salt at all, just because I like it as a very beautiful dense bread to have with jam. But there's nothing wrong with putting a little salt in it if that's how you prefer it. In here, I definitely like a little salt because it's for my turkey burgers or my veggie burgers or my vegan burgers. They're wonderful. I recommend you go look at those. So 3/4 teaspoon salt. And then last, I forgot, 3 tablespoons olive oil. 1, 2, 3. And then last, this sponge. And again, make sure the sponge was successful before you even bother making this bread, otherwise it's not going to rise. So put that in there. And, look at this. I want to put everything that's in there. And then, using this hook utensil, you're going to use your mixer. You don't have to. You can do it with your hands. It's just, in this household, I'm always running, so you can do it. So you first start it slow. You're just going to have to bear with me here. And I'm going to increase it. Oh, beautiful. And it's going to become a nice ball. Look at that. It's going. That's it. I should do it a little bit more, but just because I'm impatient for you guys, I don't want you to wait. Here it is. Beautiful. I'm going to do a little bit more. but really it doesn't need much. You can feel how light and delicious it's going to be. I'm going to then put it in a bowl, cover it with loosely with a towel, and just let it rise and create little, the rest you can look at in the recipe, how I make those little balls and how I paint it with a little egg wash. But delicious.